the other night, a couple weeks ago, and because I made her watch Fifth Element, there's no way she's ever gonna watch anything with Chris Tucker in it.
That's the introduction.
Corbin,
Corbin, my man. Corbin, my man.
Oh my gosh.
That probably shouldn't have been the first one.
Well, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Because we're having some movie talk tonight as we are live and we have some friends joining us. So, we have a Ned Stark.
What, Ned?
Ned. Hi, Ned. We love you.
What's up, man?
We love you. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of movie talk. It's gonna be a little focused movie talk, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe is the is the correct terminology.
Ned wants to hear you sing some songs. I'm assuming he's talking to you. So sure, we'll go with that. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. So we're gonna wait a couple minutes for some friends to come in at our normal 7 o'clock start time, and yeah, this is just gonna kind of be we're gonna hold tonight loose.
Yeah.
You know, talk some movies, talk some relevant releases.
Yes.
Which is a rare thing in the time of COVID.
Yep.
Ned, I don't dance, ever. So fun story for our friends since Ned brought it up. I've shared this story often, so I apologize if you heard it before, but I don't dance. I don't dance so much. I did not dance at my own wedding.
When you told me that, I was like, what?
I did not dance at my own wedding. I looked at my wife, my then soon-to-be wife. I looked her square in the eye. I was like, I love you with all of my heart. I want to marry you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You can do anything else in this universe for this wedding. I am not dancing. And that's what happened.
Okay.
Carte blanche, whatever she wanted, she got it. We did not dance. It was fantastic.
Not even first dance?
Nope, nothing.
Parent dance?
Nothing.
Okay.
It was...
Was there dancing at the wedding?
There was not.
Okay.
It was straight up Footloose up in here. Let me be clear. I have no problem if people want to dance. I do not dance.
You're just not going to do it.
I also hate DJs. Like, DJs at weddings, cheesiest thing in the universe. I can't do it. Like, the music that they pick is terrible because they're picking songs that you dance to. And so we didn't have a DJ at our wedding. So I picked the music. I had a playlist. Just things that I like to listen to.
Okay.
And if people, there was technically a dance floor because of the venue we were at. People could have danced. I don't remember. Gotcha. But we did not do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, there is my story.
Yeah.
I do not dance so much. I do not even dance with my wife on my wedding.
So basically, he's not going to dance. Yeah, there's no getting him to dance.
If my wife on my wedding day cannot get me to dance, Ned, it's not going to happen, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, friends. So we decided to have a little bit of a timely conversation.
Yes.
Because we like to mix the fun and the spiritual and the relevant and the culture and kind of stir it in a pot and see what happens.
Yep.
And in a world, we also had a really good conversation. About a month ago about movies.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Here,
had some good engagement.
We talk about movies a good bit.
It's
here.
The majority of our friendship. But we got to bring that conversation out to you. I think some of our best conversations are the ones that we just would have anyway, and then we invite other people into it.
Yep.
So the problem is that there have been no new movies in the last 4 months because we've all been locked in our houses in sadness and despair.
Yep.
So as much content has been consumed, the new things have been very few and far between.
Yes.
But we were gifted something.
We were.
On Friday. On Friday.
We definitely were.
And that something was Hamilton.
Hamilton on Disney Plus.
So, I feel like this is the time when people would give a spoiler warning, but since it's a historical reenactment of things that you should have learned in high school, there's really no such thing as a spoiler. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. I've only seen it once, so I can't give you all of the details, and I probably won't spoil too much. And yeah.
Yeah, kind of as we go through it, if you guys have seen it already, just give a wave or something in the comments. Just out of curiosity so we can see who's seen it. Just out of curiosity, we're still gonna talk about
Oh wait,
it.
I saw it.
But yeah, I definitely saw it. But give it a little wave.
Watch
little
it. Watch
thumbs
it
up or
Friday.
something.
So I need to confess something.
Yes. Okay.
Much like I hate dancing, I also hate musicals.
Ooh.
Hate them. Don't like them at all. Not a fan. The extent I'll go to on musicals is like Disney, because it's cartoons and that's fine. But there's just something that drives me absolutely nuts when two people are having a conversation, and then all of a sudden one of them just starts bursting out into song for no reason other than the fact that that's what they do. So I hate them. I don't like them at all. And Donovan, what are your thoughts on musicals?
I can muster musicals. They're not my go-to, so I don't. When a musical comes out, I'm not like, oh my goodness, I want to see that. It's just not me.
I mean, you grew up in New York. Have you gone to a Broadway show?
You know how much Broadway shows cost?
I do.
So the answer, no, I went to one. I did go to one.
Which one did you go to?
I saw Lion King when I was in 5th grade. So the original Lion King on Broadway, I actually was in a writing contest, and I won tickets to go to see Lion King on Broadway. And that was the only way that I was actually going to go to a Broadway show, because the tickets were too much money for a single mother with 3 kids to go see.
That's fair. Also, 10 points to Jordan, who pointed out one of the reasons why I hate musicals is there's dancing in them. So that makes all the sense in the world. Thank you. I didn't even make that connection. So
Yeah.
you are absolutely right.
With that being said, favorite movie, The Last Dragon, actually has a musical component to it. It has a musical component to it. Like, there is singing. It's not much dancing, but there is singing in it. So there's something near and dear to my heart with it, but I'm not running to go see musicals. But I will appreciate good musicals.
I've actually seen probably half a dozen shows on Broadway. We did them as school trips in middle school and high school with band. It was just kind of thing that we've done. I didn't ever like any of them.
You don't like Cats? Did you see Cats? Did you see Cats? I heard Cats was.
All right. You just opened a door that I have to go through. We're gonna retitle this show "Things That Jay Hates." I hate dancing. I hate musicals. But the thing I hate most in this universe is cats, as an animal. And you just figured out a way to put all 3 of those things in one thing. Like, that is the bane of my literal existence.
Oh my goodness.
So no, I did not see Cats.
Okay.
I've seen King and I. I've seen Les Mis. I've seen. I can't even remember what else I have seen. Those are the 2 I remember. I was on other trips. They obviously left an impression.
Yeah, right.
But on Friday, in the comfort of my own home, I saw Hamilton, and I liked it. Donovan, I liked the musical.
Amen.
I have a lot of feelings inside of me right now.
Amen.
I don't know what to do with them.
Amen. Lion King was good too, but yes, amen. Amen. So there was dancing, there was singing, there were no cats in it.
Amen.
But there was dancing and singing.
There was not a lot of dancing.
It wasn't a ton.
Let's be honest, there wasn't a lot of singing
What? Oh.
in Hamilton.
Yeah, it was a lot of rapping.
And I think the reason that I liked Hamilton, there's a couple reasons I liked Hamilton, and one of them was the way it was presented. Now, I in no way can call myself an expert on rap. I don't not like it. So this is not something I would put in the hate category.
Gotcha.
I will listen to it. It's not something that It's not go-to. It's not a go-to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've art, rap, R&B, all that stuff. I'm good with. It's just not a go-to for me. I was surprised how much I liked what I heard. The other thing I need to put in context in here is I love history. So that is probably the secret sauce to why I like Hamilton.
Gotcha.
So what are your thoughts on Hamilton?
I thought it was great. I kind of didn't know, like, I heard some of the songs beforehand, but I didn't expect for it to be completely song. I'm kind of used to the drama in between and then spontaneously jumping into songs and stuff, but it was like a complete musical. So I was like, oh wow. So kind of, I told you a little earlier, like 10, 15 minutes into it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a thing. Let me just turn it on now. So mentally, I'm preparing. Okay, let me just pay attention through song. So, but I thought it was great. I thought it was great. So much so, I'm definitely gonna watch it again.
So what if you guys want to if you've seen it and you want to throw in what your favorite parts are, you can give us something to talk about. We're each going to talk about a couple of the parts that highlighted to us. The first thing I just need to say is, as someone who admittedly is not an expert when it comes to rap, like the words that were used, like the execution of it was obviously brilliant, but the actual words were some of the most profound things I've ever heard, like put together artistically. It wasn't just because in my history nerdiness, like I have read the biography of Hamilton that is like thicker than this table.
Yes, I saw it.
It's enormous. And moment of truth, like right here. By read, I mean I listened to the audiobook. It's 36 hours long. That's a day and a half of people talking in my ear about a dead dude.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely brilliant. Like I cannot even begin to fathom the inner workings of Lin-Manuel Miranda's brain to be able to put all of that together in the way that he did.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about with rapping. One of the cool things is, but hard at the same time. There's so much more words in a hip hop song than there is in any other song.
Yep.
So in some respect, it gives you more to talk about, but it's so much more to write and put together and have different melodies for, because with rapping you don't want to keep the same repetitive tempo or melody. Like you have to switch it up to keep people's attention going, to emphasize certain things too. So them putting all of those songs together, and then let's appreciate, and I've always appreciated this with acting, but the memorization,
Oh wow. Yeah.
is off of the charts. Like, what in the world? So it takes so much just to memorize the words, to deliver the words in such a way, but then on top of that, they're acting as they're doing it.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. I'm not that talented, which is
I'm
why
not either.
and that's why we're here.
Amen.
And I'm okay with that.
Amen.
It's not a jealousy thing.
Amen.
I did think it was interesting. Like for as much credit as I give Lin-Manuel Miranda for creating it, I thought it was interesting. And who knows, maybe I'll get some flack on here. Like the talent in that show was so ridiculously high. I actually thought that he was the least impressive performer on the stage at any given time.
You didn't have to share it.
No, I did. Man, if I have an opinion, I share it. That's just what I do.
It's just gonna happen.
That's what I do. I don't filter. So, like, I want to see, like, because, the original cast isn't there anymore, which, the guy who played Aaron Burr,
Oh my goodness.
absolutely next level. And
My goodness.
I'll get to my favorite part in a minute, but also, and I don't know any of these actors' names, so I apologize for that. But the guy who played Lafayette and Jefferson, going to your memory,
Yes.
like
Yes.
he was doing it, like I feel like he was on double speed. Everything that came out of his mouth was just twice as fast, had twice as much content, and it was frankly twice as good.
He was.
in my opinion.
Oh man.
Yeah, but the guy who played Burr, like he could rap and sing. So you had the rappers, you had the singers. He
And you
could do
could
both.
tell he could dance too, because how he was moving around,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Commanded the stage every time he was there.
yes,
Yep,
yep.
just drawn to him.
Complete command.
So I'm seeing Jordan is saying how it's just different than other musicals. Jordan, I'll take your word for it. I don't know what Mamma Mia is. It sounds like something you would yell at a pizza restaurant. So
Yes, yes, and it's different from West Side Story.
oh, that's another one I saw. Thank you.
Oh, you
Saw West Side Story. There we go. There you go. If you shout musicals to me, there's a chance I've seen them and completely forgotten about it. I need to give one specific shout out to my favorite part,
Okay.
and it's King George.
King George was real, like.
like I don't know if you. I actually I have it queued up because
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to hear this, and the internet's probably gonna take it off. But I just
Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove,
I can just see his
I will
face.
send a fully armed battalion
This-
to remind you
this-
of my love. Da, 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 da,
This stupid dot part has been stuck in my head for a week. I go to bed dreaming of it. I wake up singing it. And the fact that he does it like 8 times throughout.
Yes.
I
So like even hearing the song, I'm like, oh, I get the song, but when you see it,
oh, it's so much
it's
better.
you have to like actually see it
I-
to fully appreciate it. Oh my
Like,
goodness.
he is so there's a movie podcast that I enjoy, and I'm just gonna have way too much explanation, but I'll put it this way, you know who Dion Waiters is?
Yes.
So for our audience, can you explain who Dion Waiters is and why he is what he does?
All right. So Dion Waiters is a basketball player in the NBA, and he is like notorious for like making the craziest shots. But like he gets hot. So you're talking about getting hot? Like he will make everything. When he starts making one or two, like they just all go in. He's very streaky, so it doesn't happen all the time. But when he starts making things, you just have to call timeouts to just stop him because there's nothing you can do to stop him from making
And
baskets.
he'll also do it in 4 minutes. Like the man will play 4 minutes a game, drain 5 threes, and he'll be the reason that people win.
And sit down. Yep.
King George is Dion Waiters.
Oh my God.
The dude spent a total of 4 minutes on my television during a almost 3-hour show, and
Man.
like I appreciate everything that I saw, and I can talk about it probably for an hour. But that is the thing that just like immediately comes to mind. And honestly, what it comes to is like, and I think it's an interesting cultural conversation because I think we all like it was built in there for that very reason. But like, it is the catchiest, stupid tune in the world, and it contrasts so deeply with everything else that you're hearing.
Yep.
And there is no doubt in my mind that the cheesy bop was sung by the only white guy on the stage.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
No, but seriously, like I'm being honest.
Man.
I am being honest.
That
He
helped
is
his character. It was really good, man. Like it was even
the spit. Oh, that was so gross. It was such a tight frame,
Oh.
and
Man.
all I was thinking was, oh, that's COVID.
Yeah. All on the front row.
All on the
'Cause
front row.
It got out.
This is why we can't have nice things anymore,
It got
guys.
out.
This is why we can't be around people.
So the guy apparently that played King George is Emma Groff's second cousin.
Fusion's very own.
Look at that.
Look at that. We are like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, straight into Hollywood. What?
How did Kevin Bacon get into this
You've
conversation?
you've never played 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No, I have not. I just know who Kevin Bacon is.
All right, so you've heard of 7 degrees of separation,
Yes.
right? 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon is you can take Kevin Bacon and connect him to anyone in Hollywood in 7 steps or less. Because Kevin Bacon has been in so many movies.
That's crazy.
It is 7 steps or less. Kevin Bacon to anyone in Hollywood.
That's crazy.
So yes, King George is related by proxy to all of us in Fusion.
Yeah.
But do you know who else he is? Because this blew my mind.
Cool.
He is the voice of Kristoff from Fusion, from Frozen.
Fusion is all in this.
Fusion is all
That's
in it.
crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
and he's from Lancaster.
And he's from Lancaster.
And he's from Lancaster.
Guys, I'm gonna just take a second to just say this.
Why is he not spoken at Fusion, Donovan?
I'm working on that. I'm working on
Just
that. I'm
saying.
gonna get his number. Guys, I know it's in Lancaster, not specifically in York. You too can do great things. Do not sell yourself short. Somebody right across, what is it? The river. Is on Hamilton. He's in Frozen. You guys can do some great things. Do not sell yourself short.
Listen.
And you don't have to be on that level to be a success.
Listen, York County is
But don't sell yourself
proudly
short.
the home of 90s, early 90s rock band live.
I thought you was gonna say snack capital.
It's also the snack capital.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you ever want to just dive deep into the lore of York and listen to Lightning Crashes from like 1993? Just the glory of grunge.
You too. Oh
You
my
too.
gosh.
So I think I want to, just if you guys have any other Hamilton thoughts, like I just want to take a minute and like, so we're having a cultural moment with it. Like the show itself is great, but the fact that it is, I think it's speaking to this cultural moment that we're having with the race conversations that we're having, with a lot of the political discussions that we're having, and if there's any way to start a great conversation, it's to say, hey, we're going to talk about religion and politics. So here we go, friends. Welcome. Join us. No, but yeah, I mean, just we come from different cultural backgrounds. We talked about it on the show before, but like, how did this speak to you from a cultural standpoint?
One, I was like, wow, like this is a big feature other than Lion King on Broadway that featured people that look like me in a majority sense. So it's not just one or two, but in a majority sense. So that was great. Also, the music that I love, hip hop was the main featured music in this musical, and it was done really well.
So well.
It was done so well, and so for me, that was just like an amazing win. And it also gives me like just kind of some more hope. Younger generations, like you guys, I think do well with understanding like rap and hip hop, because you kind of like grown up in it, especially with like Christian hip hop being what it is right now. But it's more.
It's a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, but it's a lot more accessible now, right? But like before, it was always this, hey, I don't understand like rap, and I'm just not going to even try. So I think stuff like this opens the door for people to be open to to things that are different from what it is that they're used to at least give it a try, to say, okay, I'm going to try to listen to it. Even if I don't like it, I can still appreciate it. I can still like engage with it. So for me, like this being like just really near and dear to my heart, this specific genre, I love it, man. I think it opens the door for a lot of people that now that are rappers that do really well, that know how to create scenes, to now it just kicked open the door in Hollywood and other places to do this really well, like how it is done in Hamilton. So for me, like it means a lot.
Especially now that it's accessible. I mean, like, because there are Broadway plays, and then there's the cost of going to Hamilton. Like, I'd have to take a mortgage out on my house.
Yeah, they did really well.
Really well. I think for me, like, I think the fact that it's creating a conversation about history, and to be honest, I think a lot of people are learning certain things about history for the first time through this conversation.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that.
Yeah, which is great. But well, why don't you do that now? Because I actually have a bigger point.
Yeah. So even for me, like I didn't know who Alexander Hamilton was until Hamilton came out in
Just you wait.
2016.
Just you wait.
I had no clue who he was, and then we could talk about schooling and all that other stuff as well at another time. But had no clue who he was, and it opened up just a whole different conversation. Me and my wife are just Googling as we're watching it beforehand, afterhand, just kind of reading some stuff on who he is, what it is that he believed, and then even the conversations that were going on about slavery, about the policies and stuff that would happen throughout this time, and trying to form America and things of that nature. Like, kind of opened it up just a little bit more to even different people's names that I didn't know. Like, who the heck is this Burr guy? Like, don't know who that is. Maybe I need to know. Maybe not. I don't know. But it just opened me up to a bigger, broader perspective on on what U.S. history looked like, and then also what people were saying about slavery even during that time. So it was cool.
Yeah, and as a little bit more of a history nerd who was familiar with these people, like it allows the opening to a conversation with people that you wouldn't have before. But for me, the thing that I have been focusing on is, like, I love, one of the fact is that this story is actually a tragedy, right? Like, we see how flawed the characters are, and we're not, without giving away the story for those of you who haven't seen it, like Hamilton does some great things, like Jason threw out on the chat, like he's on the $10 bill. It takes some effort to end up on money, right? But he's also flawed, and everyone in this story, to a certain degree, is flawed. Even and I think one of the things that we need to remember is, no matter how great someone is in history and what they've accomplished and how they furthered certain things, like without Hamilton, certain things don't happen. Our country doesn't form the way it happens, and we can look at that for a lot of the founding fathers. Every single one of them, if you dig deep enough, you're going to find a flaw in, and something is going to keep that luster down a little bit. So I think it's a reminder that, even as we're coming off of the 4th of July, if we keep all of our hope in these flawed individuals, we're ultimately going to be let down. And as Christians, we have a much greater hope in the person of Jesus, who will never let us down. So, like, that's, Pastor Brian gave a great message on Sunday about the idea of citizenship. And we have a responsibility in the country that we live in for what that means, but we have a higher calling as citizens of the kingdom of heaven. And that always has to come first. And I think something like Hamilton is a beautiful picture of how we can appreciate and learn about the system that we're in right now, while also still seeing their flaws and using that as a reminder to say, I actually have a Lord and God who is the perfect version of the thing that I've been looking for in these people.
That's deep. Yeah. I'm sitting there trying to think about like how I want to piggyback, and I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't really have nothing else to add. Because I think you hit it right on the head, man. Knowing these people, these people are flawed. Like, no matter like the greatness, like just knowing that they're flawed, and everyone fails in comparison to Christ. So who is number one? Who is it that we look to and we aspire to be like? And first is Jesus. First is Jesus. So
absolutely. So if you haven't seen it, you should. Also, let's be honest. There's nothing else to watch. If I'm totally honest with myself, I did not watch Hamilton because it was a cultural moment. I did it because I was bored out of my brain and it was something to do on a Friday night of a holiday weekend, and it just happened that I reaped the benefit for it. So we're gonna, as we usually do, like we have a main topic, and then the last couple minutes we kind of switch gears and talk about something else that's going on. So I don't know if anybody who's on here right now was planning on going, but today I'm mourning a little bit. I'm in a little bit of a mourning period because today was the day we were supposed to leave for the Fusion mission trip to Guatemala. Now, I realized I was sitting on my couch last night, and it was about 9 o'clock, and I looked at my wife and I was like, if we were living in a normal world, I would have gone to bed 3 hours ago, because when you go to Guatemala, you have to be at the church at 2 a.m. That's not my favorite part of the trip, but but I've just been thinking, because of that, I've been thinking about Guatemala. Shout out to myself and Worship Wednesday. If you guys haven't watched the Worship Wednesday video that I posted yesterday, I talked a little bit about this in relation to Psalm 121, and
please check it out. But then also, guys, with all those videos, please feel free to share.
We would love for you to do that.
But yeah, sorry.
No. So I've been to Guatemala twice. I've led 2 trips. You went last year and helped me co-lead it. Just any thoughts about Guatemala, impact, what we're missing out on right now, the people there? That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a ton. Yeah, my
Oh, that's right. Jordan was supposed to go. Jordan, join us in our sadness.
yeah, man. Hopefully one day we'll see what happens. One thing with Guatemala, I'm like right now, I'm like this conversation we had a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple days ago, is with COVID happening. I'm like, man, how are our brothers and sisters there doing with all of this?
Yeah. I actually checked before we went on air. They have 25,000 confirmed cases. What that doesn't sound like a lot, but I've been to Guatemala. I've seen up close and personal what their medical situation is. There's a reason we as a church send medical teams down there.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to believe that that is an accurate number.
Yep.
I
Yep.
pray that it's that low, but I'm not really confident that it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So think about that, like, those are our brothers and sisters. So they're down there and thinking about Jacinta, thinking about Miguel, Real, like, even Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, Mike.
Mike McComb, he's our
Yes.
host
Yeah.
when we're down there.
Pastor Tomas, I mean.
Yes.
But just think about our brothers and sisters down there has been kind of on my mind, and it's a really beautiful place, beautiful place, really beautiful people. So yes, that's been kind of they've been on my mind and my heart lately, and also I need to hit Miguel up again, because I put up my mom had a birthday 2 weeks ago now, a week ago anyway. And he actually said happy birthday to my mom.
I love that guy.
So even, in the midst of whatever's happening over there in Guatemala,
Yeah.
says
So
happy birthday.
for those of you guys who don't know, Miguel is so Mike McComb has a camp down in Guatemala that we go to. He owns it. He's from Texas, so he's American. And he kind of hosts us while we're there. But Miguel is kind of his number two when we're there. He's a local from Neba and just helps us guide. He helps us with some of the translation and that kind of stuff. And one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
Yep.
Like he will just send me Facebook messages every once in a while, say hi, and I saw Mike posted on social about so one of the cool things that we as a church have been able to do in this time is we actually raised money because one of the biggest issues that they're having down there is a food shortage. So we as a church raised money, sent it over there, and the infrastructure that already exists. Miguel, Mike, Tomas, and Pastor Leash are currently working on moving 10 tons of food up mountains, literally, to get to the remote areas in the villages that we go out and we help minister to when we're there. So, just a beautiful people. I keep thinking, especially just how important this trip is, not just for the ability for us to help other people and be the hands of Jesus like we're supposed to be, but just in the conversations that I've had with students who have gone, what an eye-opening experience it is to, I think a lot of what needs to happen in the world right now is to put yourself in someone else's shoes who's different than you.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest but fastest ways to do that is to literally get on a plane and fly to another country, because when you're in your own context, when you're in your own backyard, it's really easy to say it's us and it's them in whatever way you decide to see what that is. But when you are completely ingrained in another country's culture for a week,
or anybody else's culture,
yes,
for that matter.
I would say almost every student that I've taken over the last 2 years has had to wrestle with what that means and has come out changed because of it. So, if you have been on a trip, we love you and help us continue that story. And if you know someone who's been on a trip, maybe ask them about it and see what their thoughts are as they're continuing to deal with those processes.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, and continue to pray for our brothers and sisters of Guatemala, but, everybody else around the world as well, because the church does some stuff in Ethiopia as well. So, continue to be praying for that.
Yeah, we have connections all over the world: Ethiopia, Indonesia, India. It goes on and on. I know we were beginning to have relationships in Iraq and the Middle East, through Brian Newman and all that stuff. So, guys, So our closing encouragement is just like, something like Hamilton can expand our view and maybe learn some things that we didn't learn before. There's literally an entire world out there, and that's what Jesus calls us to. It's not go and make disciples of the person next door. Love your neighbor, absolutely, but make disciples of all nations.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
And that is really hard.
Yeah, it takes work.
It takes some work.
It takes
This
work.
is why we're still doing it 2,000 years later.
Amen. Amen.
So, yeah, we love you guys. Do you want to give any updates about Sunday?
Oh.
While we have it live?
Guys, Fusion is happening here at the church. Please make sure you register. We want you guys there. We have the protocols from last time. Yes, we have to keep our face masks on. We want to make sure that everyone is safe. So we'll be following those and the social distancing as well.
Listen, we all hate it. We can be real about it.
Yeah,
But it's important.
it is important.
And at this point, we don't have an option. So,
Yes, that is it as well.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. So we want to see you. We want to be around each other. And if this is the only thing that's keeping you from coming and hanging out with people, please come anyway.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
There was a
Don't let it
much
stop.
harsher version of what I was gonna say, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be nice.
So don't let it stop you. All right, here we go. Sunday at 7. But guys, please make sure you register, and we cannot wait to see you guys on Sunday. All right, we can't wait to see you Sunday night. Invite your friends. Make sure to bring a mask.
Amen.
Yep.
All right, guys, we'll see you Sunday. Is this how you wear a mask?
Oh gosh.